Just 1 minute. YouTube is getting going. All right, Mike, we're live on YouTube and we are recording to the Zoom cloud.
Okay.
I'll turn it over to you.
So I'm going to call the Region 9 Facility and Fields Committee meeting to order on Tuesday, March 16th, being held remotely pursuant to Governor's Order, Executive Order 7B. And our first order of business is approval of the minutes from the March 4th Region 9 Facility and Fields Committee. Does someone want to make a motion to approve those minutes? Ms. Denny, you were first, and then Ms. Pampel. Are there any, is there any discussion, suggestions, corrections, or anything on the minutes as they're presented? Seeing none, all in favor? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chair, may I interrupt for a moment?
Yes?
Yes.
Can we let Mr. Kennedy know that he's early we need him at 7:30. Dave Kennedy from Chartwells is on the line. So we want to let him know he's early. He can come back at 7:30 instead of 6:30. Dave, I see you on there. So if you can hear me, you don't need to be on to 7:30. Different meeting. There, maybe.
You may be interested in facilities and fields. I'm not so quick to exit people, you know, I don't. Okay, so we are on to item number 3, which is public comment. If there's any members of the public that would like to make a comment at this time, please raise your hand, or either visually in the window or by waving it visually. I don't see any. So we will move on to committee member comment. Is there any committee members who would like to comment at this time?
No.
Again, seeing none. We'll move on to our first discussion and possible action item, which, and before we do that, I'd like to seek some clarification from Mr. Zachary. So at our last meeting, we discussed potentially bringing in HVAC design firms who were on a state bid list, and asking them to present, again, it would be more qualifications of the firms and experience with similar projects rather than details of our project. But so I see there's many extra people on the meeting. Is my assumption correct that some of these are vendors or HVAC designers that are on this state bid list that you identified at the last meeting?
Actually, Mr. Chair, I deviated slightly. I went and called some of my resources and got recommendations on design firms that have done schools. So I've got 2 firms. I invited 4 firms, actually 3 firms. 2 have agreed to participate. 1 declined and only said they were interested in if 2 contractors were involved. I'll let you know, one of those contracts they asked for is actually is a design and build firm. So they do both design and actual install work. So I felt comfortable with them not participating. So this was based, I've got Jill Walsh from one firm, and then I have Glenn, I forget how you pronounce your last name, from Incon on to give her, and both firms have actually been at the building and seen the actual things we're looking for, so they can give us some actual insights of what they think the building may require.
Okay. Procedurally, I just, I don't know where we stand. I don't know. So if these are not firms on a state bid list, as you had stated at the last meeting, then what we're doing now is we're soliciting opinions from certain firms, which could jeopardize the competitive bidding process, and especially relating to design. So I'm just trying to understand how you see this going and how this fits into compliance with what the regulations would be for a project like this, Mr. Zach.
So the way I see it going is, given what I understand or perceive to be the scope of the project, I wanted to get some outside parties in who have done similar work, get an idea of just a scope, just a sort of broad brush, what they think we need and what a general view of how much it may cost, because we have sort of a decision to make. We can take the path that I think, the cooperative path that you or some other board members were suggesting, or we take this sort of a traditional path. So I want to get some firms in to get an idea what the time frame may be, what the scope may be, and what the cost may be, so we can still follow our traditional bidding processes. These firms are coming in as a sort of courtesy to me to share their ideas and views about what they think the building's needs are and what they think it might cost and how they would go about suggesting we approach it. So you're not committed to anything, but based on the conversations you're going to have this evening.
No, that's clear to me. That's understood. I guess what I'm referencing is, so your expectation is just to talk to firms who have been given a access to the building to speak about how they would do the project and what it could cost. And if we go out to competitive bid, you do not see this as being a violation of the competitive bidding processes.
No, sir. We're talking about design work. We're not talking about the overall project. Even though InCon, I'll acknowledge it does both design and build work. So I've explained to them that there would be a competitive bid process of any work, and they understand and acknowledge that.
Yes, no, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about other firms. Okay, so you have a legal background, so I'm just going to plow ahead. And if we somehow are in violation of that, we will.
I'm sure you'll call me if we're in violation.
Well, we will face that when it happens. So then what I would suggest is was it your expectation to have a round table and have all the firms speaking at
no, I was expecting to do breakout rooms, let each firm present on their own. So I'd like to suggest we ask Ms. Walsh to come into a breakout room, ask InCon to wait for us, then we come back out, would bring InCon into their own private breakout room.
So then, just for clarification, we have two firms present.
Correct.
And they are?
Jill, can you share how you pronounce your firm's name? I always mispronounce it.
No problem. It's OLA Engineering.
Oh, then I could have said that. I thought it was.
Yeah, it's just, I know a lot of people like say it as if it's a word, but it's really just the initials.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, OLA Engineering and InCon.
Okay. And then just clarification for the record, the Director of Finance and Operations has given them a little bit of a preview of what the potential scope would be. And each firm, we're going to meet in a breakout room to vet the firm's qualifications relating to design and maybe gain some perspective if they're willing to share under no commitment or not being bound to anything moving forward. So with that, Todd, if you wouldn't mind sending us into a breakout room with OLA Engineering
from OLA first.
And just so that we're clear, because we don't have a building committee, this would be the FFC. And so we would be, just so that members of the public are aware, we would be coming back between each firm and would continue the meeting because we have other agenda items once we handle this initial business. So
Yeah.
with that, Todd, can you break us out into?
Yeah, so just to make sure I've got the right people, and then are we going to executive session outside
Well,
in the breakout room?
that's where we're gonna go first. So you have the breakout room set up, is that correct?
Yes, so for the, and you just want board members, committee members, so I've got Clarence, Gwen, Miss Walsh, Mike Santangeli, Mike D'Agostino, Mary Lee, and Suzanne.
And you need
And
Walter in there,
Walter
sir.
as well, yeah.
Yeah. The first invite, I'd like to involve Miss Walsh from OLA for the first one, please.
Okay.
Do you want me to be in any of the breakout rooms, Todd?
Oh, Gina, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, Gina.
Oh.
That's okay. I had my camera off, but
Okay, I've added you as well, so I'll,
Well, So where it gets complicated is, have we formed a building committee yet? We have not, correct?
we have not.
So, as much as I would like to have her in it, I don't see a way that we can bring Miss Crivet into the executive session unless we feel comfortable inviting her in as a guest. I don't know. I think that gets.
I think you're gonna breach some formalities there.
Yeah,
I would
I will
agree.
remove Suzanne from the breakout.
So I'm sorry, Suzanne. I'd love to have you, but
I get it.
okay. So then, if everything is set up, then I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session and invite Ms. Pinn and Ms. Walsh and Mr. Santangeli. Everyone else is on the committee to
Yes.
to meet with
Mr.
Ola.
Zudak, Walter, do you want in that group too?
Walter's on the committee, so he's okay.
Okay, you're in, Walt.
Okay,
Right.
so does someone want to make that motion? Okay, Mary Lee, you're up first and seconded by Ms. Denny. Okay, Mr. Johnston, we're ready.
All right, I'm gonna send everybody into the breakout room, and then when we come back, I'll just create the second breakout room.
I asked our guests from InCon to be patient for us, and we'll return to you shortly.
All right, so I'm gonna open the room, and everybody should see a notice to join the room, so click on that. And for the folks in the public, we'll be back in a minute. And Walter, did you get your email, Walter, to go? There you go. All right, and I think we've got everybody over. Okay. Sorry, everybody should be coming back to the main room, and I'm closing out the others, and I'll get the next breakout room set up. So give me a minute here.
Here again. Okay, now I'm unmuted. Even though this is being done virtually, we don't need another motion. We're still going to be in executive session. We're just looking to bring in NCON.
That would be
Oh.
Eric Gibson and Glenn Giustino.
D'Agostino, Toby Giagrande.
So there's 3.
Three and Toby. Okay. Sure, I get all of you. And same group of board members. Okay. I think we've got it all set. And the main room's still recording. All right. I'm going to open the rooms. So you should get a prompt to go into the breakout room.
Todd, you might want to check to see if that breakout function's available here to transfer to the.
Yeah, I set the security setting and it's not changed.
Okay, I'm unmuted, and on the fast track here, we have 10 minutes. So we've received some information from these two firms. I think there's I think we probably need another meeting to discuss this and everything, but it seems like going down this path is going to require us to make a capital request to the town, and because we don't have the funding for this. Again, it just seems like we're probably into next year, and at the earliest, and again, making a request to the town and everything. If this is the route, the preferred route that we want to go, it looks, again, I don't want to share numbers in a public meeting, as we were just given, some guidance, some rough numbers, but it does appear as though the numbers are higher than what we had originally discussed and had talked about budgeting. So that being said, let's move on to the next item in our agenda, which is the status on the boilers. Walter, can you give us an update on what's going on with the boilers?
Yep, the boiler was torn down. It is only the one section that we have a crack on. It's the feed section. New section has been ordered. Both GR Wade and Connecticut Combustion spoke with Badaris. The warranty was 1 year on section, 5 year on jacket, which is standard on the Badaris. The boiler was actually installed 8/8/2012. The only thing that we did find in tearing it down is we do seem to have excessive amounts of scale building up. So I was talking with Connecticut Combustion, Dean, and we're looking at a way to put blow-offs on the bottom of the boilers to be able to try and blow the water out of them to clean them up. One of the things that might have contributed to the cracking of this particular section, although we can't really confirm it, is when we had those massive water leaks and we're dumping excessive amounts of added water into it. But this is not a common occurrence for a Badaris at all.
Okay, and I'm a little surprised. They only give you 1 year on a cast iron.
1 year cast iron, 5 year on the yeah, come on.
The jacket.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's fine. So the repair will be handled in the operating budget. Is that
Unfortunately, yes. The parts are
Yes.
ordered. They're expecting it to be in next week. And they should be able to have it wrapped up hopefully by the end of next week if the parts show up on time.
right? And seeing how we sequence the boilers anyway, we're fine, right?
Yeah, we're holding it. One Badaris can actually hold us down to single digit numbers.
Right. Because they sequence, right? You can run the building on one, but
Correct.
you're sequencing them. So, okay, so that's great. Good to know that
We are looking at some way to treat the
and
water.
you're going to blow them down now. So you're going to put a way to be able to blow them down, because I know we had that problem at John Reed too. You get lots of scale. The water is loaded with stuff, and it.
Yeah, we're looking
Yeah.
at a few different options, and once we get back online, Connecticut Combustion will be working with us to try and come up with the best solution to handle this, so we don't have a repeat performance.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. While we're in here, it's not on the agenda, and it's a special meeting, but just nod your head if our tractor's in.
The tractor is ready. They're delivering it Thursday, but they did send me pictures.
We'll have that in the next
We've
meeting.
got pictures for the next meeting. No, don't steal our
No,
thunder.
man, we'll have it for the next meeting. It's not on this agenda.
We were actually scheduled to have it here yesterday, but apparently they have a problem with drivers being out with COVID also. So it was a delivery.
No, you guys are breaking all I just said was nod the head. That's all I wasn't adding.
I know, but I'm really disappointed. I wanted to have it here to show you folks. It is beautiful though.
Okay, so we are on to, I got 5 minutes, Todd. I'm gonna have plenty of time here.
Yeah.
So we're on to item 7, which is public comment. Again, I want to thank Ms. Crivet for her patience and determination to hang with us there. And again, I apologize for not being able to bring you into the breakout rooms with us. But seeing how you're the only member of the public, if there's a comment you would wish to make, and now is your opportunity. Okay, seeing none, we are on to committee member comments. Is there any members of the committee that would like to comment at this time? Ms. Denny, you are up.
I'm just really concerned about how this is going, and I'm wondering what our next step is. We've been trying to do this for a couple of years. The floor in the gym is not in good shape. And I don't know, as a committee, what's our next step? Is there a way to get this done by the summer? It's been 2 years.
Is that a rhetorical question, or is that?
I guess it's a rhetorical question. Because we cannot have a dialogue, but maybe another board member would have a comment after me.
Okay. Your concern is duly noted. Is there any further committee member comments? So I do have a committee member comment, and I think that there's no way this project gets done on the course that we're looking at now. By the time we do an RFP design and everything, and so I do think that the decision has to be made whether we're going to try and get this thing done this year, or whether we're going to try to redesign the school HVAC and go through a systematic process of upgrading everything that was value engineered during the project. So I would, again, I would hope that we want to move forward with this. I think the community expects it. I think the kids deserve it, but I am one member, so so that is my comment as well. Is there any further committee member comments?
Mike, I assume I'm a member of the committee, so I guess my question is, what was the plan with moving forward? Like, what was the scope of it? Like, the details of it? Because that predated me because it was last summer you were talking about doing it. So I guess we want to make sure it's adequate to satisfy the needs of the building.
I'm not understanding what your question is.
When the question is, when you talk about moving forward, what was the original plan? I guess from last summer that got delayed because of COVID.
What was the original scope?
Yes.
I thought we discussed the scope at the last meeting. It was HVAC replacement unit for the cafeteria. It was fresh air ventilation to the gymnasium. It was replacing the 2 chiller units that are failing, and it was health and safety improvements to the gymnasium.
That's what I thought. So I guess my question, I'm trying to distinguish the difference, because that's what I thought we heard tonight. I guess the question is, in whatever path you take, it's a question of cost and getting it done before the start of school, is if I'm understanding what the issue is.
Well, no, I think the issues are kind of parallel in that A, timing, B, cost, C, you're going to need multiple vendors, multiple bids. You're going to need a project manager probably. If you're going to go this route, you may need an A&E firm to do it. Again, looking at the way you're tracking now, you have HVAC designers that will design your system, that will vet other HVAC companies to install. But you have so many other aspects, roofing, electrical, you have demo, you have vendors for the gymnasium and all that stuff that you were going down a different path, I guess, a more complicated path, a more lengthy path.
I guess my question is in contrast to the what was the original path? Since I wasn't here last year, so you're comparing it to something. I'm trying to understand what you're comparing it to.
Well, no, I'm not really making a comparison. I guess what I'm saying is that the administration was on notice more than a year or so ago that we wanted to do this project. The administration did not carry through with the project last year. It was the COVID issues where, took front and center. We had, again, continued to discuss this right along through the year, through the departure of the former finance and operation director and your hire. And so again, I think it was out there. And again, we had looked at different paths to get to the objective. And again, seeing how this falls under your purview, and your preference seems to be to pursue this type of path, not following this path. I don't want to make any assumptions. It just appears to me that timing may have significant challenges. And also, I think that funding may be short. And so, again, unless you have a plan that I'm not aware of, it seems as though this is not happening this year. So,
yeah, if I can use my board member comment, because I know we're getting back into a discussion here. May I suggest as part of my board member comment that we have another committee meeting that we can talk through what the next steps are? Because I do share concern based on some of the information we heard here about timing and costs, that I think it would be good if the committee got together and again.
That was the
in
first
a few more minutes when we're not time constrained.
Another meeting. No, we need another meeting. That was the first thing that I think I said. So obviously we're going to need another meeting to go through this.
Okay, so I'll work with you and the board members we'll get something scheduled here relatively quickly, so that we can figure out path forward here.
Okay.
But I do think, as the last of my committee member comment, I do think the information was helpful. I have a better understanding of timing and price, so I do appreciate the additional information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so any other committee member comment? Hearing none, does someone want to make a motion to adjourn? Ms. Pampel, is there a second? Ms. Denny? Okay, we are adjourned at 7:33. And Todd, if you hadn't made a comment, we would have been on time. So
yeah, sorry, I was a bit wordy.
Okay.
We'll see everybody in the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.